What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at this beautiful 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6. This is the limited edition, which is the highest trim you can get for this vehicle. Let's go ahead and start off with the exterior styling and work our way in. And to be honest, the exterior is probably my favorite part of this vehicle. Take a look at this beautiful design. I think Hyundai absolutely crushed it. This has got to be my favorite view of this car. This old school Porsche 911 type of look here. Just an absolutely beautiful car. The front honestly was not my favorite, but the more time I spent with it, the more it grew on me. And I think it just looks great all together. I mean, take a look at that, guys. All right, so some of the things that really stood out to me are these beautiful 20-inch alloy wheels. And one thing that I really liked that Hyundai did was, unlike other manufacturers like Tesla that just slap on a plastic hubcap, they actually built it in to the rim design. So as you can see, this area is actually filled in, but it helps with aerodynamics. But take a look at how good that looks as opposed to just slapping on a plastic piece. I think they did a great job with that. These door handles actually pop out when you unlock the car or approach it, which is really nice. I just wonder how those would be with the winters that we have here in Chicago. Like, would they freeze over, or would you be able to access those? You got these beautiful rear wings. You got one up here, one down here. Beautiful rear LED tail lights right there. And you got your charge port right there, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk. I want to show you guys what kind of storage space you get from this Ioniq 6. You get the power trunk, which is nice. Now, honestly, this is a great size trunk, especially for daily use, whether you're grocery shopping or just putting things in here. I think this is plenty of space. Now, you do get this little lift up area, but it does have the car's charger there. And honestly, this isn't a huge space that you could use for anything besides this charger, which I don't think you'd really need because you do get this large trunk space. Now, what's nice about the trunk space is you get these little pulls here, and these seats actually drop down. They're a 60-40 split. So if you're putting something longer in this vehicle, you can actually lay the back seats down and use basically the entire length of the vehicle, which is a nice touch there. Oh, let's go ahead and close that. Man, I love the back end of this car. It just looks so aggressive. Let's go ahead and pop the front of the car. I want to show you guys what that looks like. All right, so take a look at that. You don't get a whole lot of storage space here. I guess this is for the car's charger or something like that, because you can't really use it to store anything. It's pretty small. You get access to your fluids as well as your fuse box right there. One thing that I kind of wasn't a fan of, this all being exposed, as opposed to where Tesla kind of covers it with a plastic piece and makes it look a little more user friendly. This does look a hair bit more intimidating, to be honest, but it is definitely functional. Speaking of functionality, take a look at this awesome feature that Hyundai put into this vehicle. So these are actually active, and they actually open to cool off the radiators if the car needs it. If it doesn't, they close to give it maximum aerodynamics, which I think is awesome. It's got these beautiful little inlets right there. Just a great looking car overall, in my opinion. It's got a nice presence. I can't get over this back end. It just looks so good. Let's go ahead and jump inside the Ioniq. I want to show you guys some awesome interior features of this car. All right, so now we're inside the Ioniq 6, and let's go ahead and turn it on. Foot on the brake. There's the push the start button right there. Take a look at how beautiful these LED screens are right here. One thing that I will note is it would have been cool if these two screens connected and didn't have this little gap right there, but not a huge deal. The overall fit and finish of this car, I think Hyundai knocked it out of the park. Take a look at how beautiful this interior is, guys. Everything feels very premium, from the leather wrapped steering wheel, which is heated. The seats, the front and the passenger and driver seat, are heated and cooled, which is a very nice feature. Honestly, driving this car the past few days has been extremely refreshing, coming from a Model 3. It's nice to see buttons again. I mean, the Model 3 literally has nothing. All you get is that giant screen right here. No buttons, no nothing. Seeing this and driving this the past few days, honestly, the only way to describe it is refreshing. I mean, everything feels very nice. The buttons are extremely well made. Everything is very nice to the touch. Let's go over some of the features of this Ioniq 6. So you get the wireless charging here, which is nice, unlike the Q8 that I recently reviewed, where the wireless charger was kind of down in the middle of the center console. You can't see your phone if you were to get a text or anything like that, whereas here, it's a great location for it. You get the USB charging right there, 2 cup holders, and this center console space right here. Again, not huge, but definitely usable. You get your window controls here, front and rear, door locks, window locks, and the auto hold, which is a nice feature to have as well. The steering wheel's got a ton of useful functionality. You get to answer the phone, you get to change the radio, you get your lane keep assist, which is nice. Just going back to the buttons again, you get your climate control right here, which this bottom screen is actually touch screen, whereas these are actually physical buttons. The stereo system in this car is excellent. It is a Bose system. I was very happy with it. It sounds great. One of the things I will say is the infotainment center is extremely responsive, in my opinion. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Just swiping through the menu, everything responds the way it should. Nothing drags or lags or anything like that. Let's go ahead and go to the setup vehicle. I love the ambient lighting in this vehicle. I will do a night drive video. I'll link it somewhere here. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't seen it. It's really cool. The car's got a ton of ambient lighting running throughout this entire cabin. Obviously, you can't see it here in the daytime, but at night it looks absolutely stunning. So make sure you guys check out that video. I will link it here, or check the description box below. I love the design of this door. You get this giant handle right here to grip on. You can basically open the door from anywhere you'd like. You get a little bit of extra storage space here, and some storage space underneath there as well. Now, before we take it for a quick spin, I do want to show you guys the rear seats. Again, I'm about 5'10", and this is my respective driving position right here. So let's go ahead and jump in the back seats and see what kind of space we get in this Ioniq 6. Again, you get these pop-out handles, which are super nice. All right, so one thing off the bat you notice is obviously the transmission tunnel doesn't exist, so you get a ton of leg room back here. Again, take a look at how much leg room I have. Definitely more than the Tesla Model 3 for sure. The headroom is a hair tight, I'd say, no pun intended. But it does have to do with the slope design of the vehicle. It is a little bit tight on the top, but not a problem. My head is not anywhere near touching. The door handles are again massive in the back. You get your window control here, you get a little bit of storage here, and additional storage space here and here. But overall, the back seats are a great place to sit. Again, you get plenty of space. You also get this little drop down right here, a couple of cup holders, nice little armrest. Yeah, you get plenty of space back here. I don't think space would be an issue. Definitely more space than something like a Tesla Model 3. Let me show you guys how these rear seats also fold down. So I already pulled the latch from the trunk, but you can drop them down and again get access to the entire trunk as well as majority of the back seats. Let's jump back in the driver's seat and take this car for a spin. I want to show you guys how it drives as well as some of the drive modes. All right, let's get this Ioniq 6 out on the road, but before we do, I want to share some stats with you guys. Again, this is the limited trim model, which is the highest that you can purchase. This has got a dual motor all-wheel drive system, so it's got a motor in the front and a motor in the rear. It's also got a starting price of about $50,000. The 0 to 60 on this is a whopping 4.6 seconds, which feels a lot quicker than that in my opinion. It's got a range of about 270 miles, which is plenty. I've been driving it around all week and barely made a dent in the battery. The horsepower is right around 320, which again feels like way more than that. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this car out on the road and show you guys what it's like to drive. So the Ioniq's got a pretty cool shifting system. So you put your foot on the brake and there's a knob right here. Put it into drive. It's actually a shift by wire system that Hyundai's got, which is extremely smooth. I've had no issues with it. It's actually nice the way they've set that up. The car's got 3 different drive modes. It's got Sport, it's got Eco, and it's got Normal. All 3 of which I've driven and are extremely smooth. Obviously the most fun is the Sport mode. One thing you'll notice as I shift through the different drive modes is this LED display on the steering wheel actually changes. So take a look at this. Eco turns green, Normal turns white, Sport turns red, which is a nice little feature. Now, the ambient lighting in this car is probably one of my favorite features of this car, to be honest. It just makes it that much cooler to drive. Obviously, you can't really tell that here in the daytime, so make sure you guys check out my nighttime drive of the Ioniq 6. Now, I don't go into too much detail in that video. I just kind of show off the ambient lighting, so make sure you guys check that out. I think you'll really enjoy it. All right, so just driving this car out on the road, one thing I will note is it's extremely nimble. It's light on its feet and takes turns very easily. The suspension is very soft. You don't really feel any bumps as you go over them, so that's a nice feature. Again, coming from a Tesla Model 3 where you just feel every bump and crack on the road. That is not the case for this Ioniq 6. One thing that's pretty cool is it's got the obviously regenerative braking, being a fully electric vehicle, but check this out. So it's got paddle shifters, right? When you come to a light, you left paddle, downshift, and the regenerative braking really kicks in. So it's pretty cool that you can control it with the paddles like that. So another cool feature that Hyundai's got is, check this out. When I switch lanes and give a signal, the camera comes on right there and you can actually see. Switch lanes, turn off the signal, camera shuts off, which I think is a cool feature. One thing that I will note is the electric motors sound great. They kick in anywhere from 0 to about 22-23 miles an hour, and that is obviously to let pedestrians know if you're driving, whether it's at night or in a neighborhood or a parking lot, and there are other people walking. It's to let them know that there is a car around. Otherwise, you would not be able to hear this car on the road. Take a listen. So there you go, right at 23 miles an hour, it kind of cuts off. So there it is, guys. That is the Ioniq 6 limited edition. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you're in the market for an EV, I highly suggest you guys consider the Hyundai Ioniq 6. Just an absolute beauty of a car, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video.